Hello everyone, this is the Board Game Lawyer, and today I'm going to play some Marvel Champions. So this is game 4 in my Rise of Red Skull campaign. Hopefully you've been able to watch the previous 3 videos that I did. You can find them on my YouTube channel if you have not been able to see them yet. But so far, so good. We've won all 3 of our first 3 games of this campaign. And just to kind of recap the rules that I established as a criteria to make this maybe just a little bit more challenging and limited, here's what I did. I placed a build restriction upon myself for this campaign that I would only use cards from the core set and from the campaign box to answer mainly the question, can you have fun with just those cards? So the hero that I went with was Spider-Woman. And so for this run through of the campaign, since I'm using Spider-Woman, I added an additional build restriction upon myself, and that is that I would not use the same combination of aspects twice throughout the campaign. Her card says that while building her deck, you must include equal cards from 2 different aspects. And so far in the campaign, I recorded it here on the back of my campaign log. In game 1, I played with aggression and leadership. Game 2, I played with aggression and protection. Game 3, protection and justice. And for game 4 today, we're going to use leadership and justice. So that's how I decided to set it up. Let's take a look at our campaign instructions for our game today. So where we left off last week was that the Avengers have just defeated the Taskmaster, and they came across Dr. Zola on Ellis Island. It says rumor has it that he's trying to develop and perfect soldiers for Hydra. And so the Avengers take out after Dr. Zola, and that's where we begin today. So let's take a look at our scenario here. It says, having defeated Taskmaster, you learn that Hydra has not only captured New York City, but all of the United States. It was the mad scientist Arnim Zola who built a machine to harness the power of the reality gem and tip the balance of power in Hydra's favor. He has created a research station for himself on Ellis Island and turned the historic port into a nightmarish prison for his unfortunate test subjects. Taskmaster was ordered to bring the heroes he captured there for experimentation. In this upside-down America, you're the only hope the captives have to escape a horrible fate. So for our setup here, it tells us that we need to use Dr. Zola, Dr. Arnim Zola, Zola 1 and 2, and I have those right here. We're going to be using standard Zola today, and so that's why we're using 1 and 2. Also, it says that we would use, for our main scheme deck here, we have 1 and 2, the Island of Dr. Zola and the Mad Doctor. So we'll bring those out. Also in our encounter deck, it tells us to use the Zola set, the Under Attack set, and the Standard set, all of which I've included in my deck today. And the Under Attack set can be removed. We're not going to remove it. We're just going to keep it in there just to play with the basic components of this campaign. So as far as the campaign instructions are concerned, it says that each player searches their deck for all cards with the setup keyword and puts them into play. So the card I had in my deck was Basic Thwart Upgrade. You saw that in my last game. It is a permanent setup, and that'll go on Jessica Drew here. It says shuffle each of the experimental attachments recorded in the campaign log into the encounter deck. So the 2 that I had in my log was the laser rifle as well as the energy shield. So we'll shuffle those in, and we'll shuffle our encounter deck. We're also playing with the expert campaign rules. So it says to set each player's hit points to the remaining hit points, the value that's recorded in the campaign log from the previous scenario. Well, the hit points that I had, I was at full strength. So Jessica Drew has 11 hit points. So that's what we'll do. We'll set her at 11 hit points here. And you'll also notice that on her basic thwart upgrade that you get +2 hit points. So we'll go ahead and bump her up to 13. Okay, the only other rule that we would have to observe is that we would have to include an objective in our deck if we wanted to bring ourselves back up to full strength. Don't need to worry about that because we ended just fine in our last game. So Dr. Zola comes into play with 12 hit points. We'll grab his dial. All right. Dr. Zola also has a scheme of 2, an attack of 1, and he has a retaliate of 1. All right. Let's take a look at our main scheme. So we've already took a look at our contents. Let's take a look at the setup. It says search the encounter deck for the Hydra Prison and reveal it. So I have the Hydra Prison right here. It says when revealed, each player searches their deck, discard pile, and hand for a hero-specific ally and places it face down beneath the scheme. Place X threat on the scheme, where X is the total cost of all allies beneath it. Each player shuffles their deck. All right, so here's Captain Marvel. That's our, what do they call this? They call this the hero-specific ally, and she cost 4. So in addition to the 1 that goes on this threat, we'll also add 4 to it. So we'll set that there. It's for 5 threat. Move my campaign book over there. We'll place the 5 threat on the Hydra Prison. It tells us to shuffle our deck, so I'll just go ahead and do that now. Shuffled it already, but we'll just kind of top it off with another couple shuffles, since that's what it asks us to do. And then it tells us to, each player searches the encounter deck for a copy of Ultimate Bioservant and puts it into play, engage with them, and shuffle the encounter deck. Well, here's my Ultimate Bioservant. He has a scheme of 1, an attack of 1, and he gets +1 attack for each attachment on him. He also comes into play with a tough card on him. There is our Ultimate Bioservant. He's out there now. So that'll conclude everything for side 1A of our main scheme. Side 1B reads, forced response. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, place one test counter here. Then if there are 3 or more test counters here, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engage with the first player, and remove 3 test counters from the scheme. It begins with 0, and it threats out at 6. So that's all set. We have our Hydra Prison set. We have our Ultimate Bioservant ready to go. Jessica Drew is on her alter ego side. We have our permanent upgrade on us. All we have to do now is draw our hand size of 6. 6 cards. So our first one is Finesse. We draw Clear the Area. For Justice. The Power of Leadership. Get Ready. And the Daredevil. So, all right, well, we'll keep the Finesse card. Clear the Area, For Justice. You know what? For Justice might be not so bad to keep. Maybe we'll keep that one. The Power of Leadership, Get Ready, and Daredevil. Let's keep the Power of Leadership. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan these 3 cards off. And we'll see what we draw. So we get another Get Ready. Now we have Spider-Man and Self-Propelled Glide. That is our 6 cards. Jessica Drews has an action. She can look at the top card of any deck, and I can do that a limit of once per round. Let's take a look at the top card of our deck over here. It's Shadows of the Past. All right, so that's good to know, right? Shadows of the Past on the top of my deck. So what I could do is, if I play, I probably want to put that Finesse card on the table. So Shadows of the Past. So I would scheme for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I stay in my alter ego form, I know that there's 2 boost icons on there. So I'll immediately thread out on the island of Dr. Zola if I decide to stay in my alter ego form, unless there's something else I can do. I don't think there is. So if I brought Spider-Man out, though, he would remove 3 threat from a side scheme. There's 3 threat over there on the Hydra prison. And I might want to break out. I might want to break her out of there. It would cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, every single one of my cards just to put Spider-Man out at this time. But you know what? It might be just worth it. Let's do it. We'll bring Spider-Man out. For 5 resources. Whenever I play him, that's a response. After you play Spider-Man from your hand, remove 3 threat from the scheme. And we'll just exhaust Spider-Man to remove the rest of the threat. That will do 1 consequential damage onto Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is a justice character. And I've got some markers here in my token box that I'll bring out. Should have brought those out earlier. But these markers here, I use these to denote that I've played an aspect card, and that's important on my hero side. So let's just pretend that I had already flipped over to my hero side when I played Spider-Man on the table, because he is a justice aspect. So I could mark Spider-Woman with a yellow cube to denote that she has, I'll go ahead and read that ability. She has a superhuman agility. Interrupt. When you play an aspect card, Spider-Woman gets +1 thwart, +1 attack, and +1 defense until the end of the round. Limit once per round for each aspect. So we defeated the Hydra prison, and it says that when defeated, remove this scheme from the game and return each ally beneath it to its owner's hand. So we can retrieve our Captain Marvel. I have no resources to play Captain Marvel right now, but I'm not even sure that that is what I will want to do anyway. So I'll just put her in my hand for now, and Spider-Woman is going to... What's Spider-Woman up to? I think we'll go ahead and attack with Spider-Woman. She'll do 2 damage onto Dr. Zola. That'll knock him down to 10. He does have retaliate, so that's going to do 1 damage to us. We'll discard Captain Marvel at the end of my turn as I ready all my cards. Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, working together in perfect harmony. And then we'll draw our 5 cards to end our turn. So we have 4 Justice. We draw Self-Propelled Glide. That is a tongue twister for me. Strength. Clear the area, and Mockingbird. All right. Nice hand going into the next round. So Dr. Zola is going to begin by placing that 1 threat on the island of Dr. Zola. And we will also place one of our counters here. Now, I read that earlier. That's the test counters. Whenever there's 3 test counters here during this phase, then I would also have to cycle through my deck to find an additional, until a minion is discarded and play him engage with the first player. So, all right, so that's done. Dr. Zola is going to attack. Spider-Woman's going to, let's see, will she defend? Let's see what I have in my hand. If I defend, it'll do less damage to me. Downside is I won't be able to attack on my turn. Tell you what, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll allow the Dr. Zola to attack Spider-Woman. We know what it is. We looked at it earlier. It's Shadows of the Past. So he's going to do 3 damage to Spider-Woman. Takes her down to 9. And then the Bioservant's also going to attack for 1. We'll draw our encounter card. Our encounter card is an Assault. When revealed, Hero. The villain attacks you. So Dr. Zola is going to attack me again. And this time he's going to attack me for a star. It's a special boost icon. It says place 1 test counter on the main scheme. So we place another test counter over here. Just like so. And he attacks for 1. So we'll do 1 more damage. So she's down to 7. How quickly her health is diminishing. So let's see what we have. What can we do? think it might be worthwhile to play that Mockingbird. If that Mockingbird don't sing. Yeah, you know the song. Self-propelled glide. Now, Mockingbird is a basic card, so I won't be able to. Let's go ahead and clear that cube because this is a whole new round. If I play Mockingbird, though, it will stun Zola, and I like that idea. So let's play Mockingbird, and we will. Well, before we do that, let's play Clear the Area to remove that threat off of the island of Dr. Zola, because I could spend one resource to do that, and it'll allow me to draw an extra card. See, maybe if I could get something else. So we're going to play Clear the Area, remove 2 threat from a scheme. That comes off. Mark Spider-Woman that she played a Justice card, and we get to draw a card since we played Clear the Area, and we cleared the last off of that, and it's the Power of Justice. So, didn't do us much good. Not really. So we will play Mockingbird, and we'll use Strength, and we'll use the Self-Propelled Glide to do that. So Mockingbird to the table. We'll hang on to that Power of Justice for now. Mockingbird will attack. She stuns Dr. Zola, by the way. So we'll stun him. She'll attack the Bile Servant, knock off his tough card. Spider-Man's going to go ahead and do the same. So both Spider-Man and Mockingbird will take consequential damage. To do 2 damage to him, she can also do 2 damage to the Ultimate Bile Servant. So we'll just go ahead and remove him from the board before these minions start building up on us. So here's a choice. I could now flip over to my... But you know what? If I do that, we're going to have 3 test counters on here. I'll have to bring a minion out into play, and who knows which one that might be. So, do I stay in hero form and take 1 less card, or do I flip over, take a chance at threading out on the island of Dr. Zola? There's a lot of boost icons in Dr. Zola's deck, so that's kind of scary. But I'll tell you what, let's flip it over and see what we get. Let's look at the top card. Go ahead and remove that cube because it's not going to do us any good anymore. We'll go ahead and look at the top card, and it does have 2 boost icons on it. So there is a good chance that I may thread out on the island of Dr. Zola since I so clumsily flipped over to my alter ego form, getting greedy, thinking I would draw an extra card. But hey, just a game, right? So we'll ready Spider-Man, we'll ready Mockingbird. Up comes Jessica Drew. We'll hang on to that Power of Justice just in case we draw a nice chunky yellow card. So we draw 4 Justice. We draw Maria Hill. We draw Contaminant Immunity, like that card. Pheromones, like that even better. And Finesse. There are my 6 cards going into my next round. So here we go. 1 threat onto the main scheme. We add 1 test counter here. And we triggered it. It says if there are 3 or more test counters here, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck. It says result after. Make sure I'm doing this right. I've played it a million times. Just make sure after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, which we just did, place 1 test counter here. Then, if 3 or more test counters are here, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until minion's discarded. Yeah. It comes into play. So let's see what minion decides to show up. We draw the Mind Ray. It might not be so bad after all. Or it could be worse. Zola's Mutate. When revealed, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a tech attachment is discarded. Attach that tech card to Zola's Mutate. All right, so we continue to discard cards. So we discard a Berserk Mutate, a Uncertain Loyalties, Ultimate Bioservant. Another Berserk Mutate. And here is the attachment. Attached to the minion with the most remaining hit points without another copy of neurological implants attached. If you cannot, the card gains Surge. Attached minion gets +2 hit points. So now he's up to 7. He has an attack of +2 and a scheme of +2. So that's for sure not going to be good for the Island of Dr. Zola main scheme. Okay, so Dr. Zola is going to scheme for how much? 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 and 4. And now Zola's Mutate is going to scheme for 3. So that will thread out the Island of Dr. Zola. And this says, when revealed, each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion and reveals it. Shuffle the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion and reveals it. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over into my discard pile because I saw that Berserk Mutate. He schemes for 0, so we'll bring him out. And then it tells us, even though we didn't search it, we'll go ahead and shuffle. We'll shuffle our encounter deck. So side 2A is completed. Side 2B has the forced response with the test counters here. Put that minion into play, this and that. So if the scheme is completed, the players lose the game. It comes into play with 1 threat on it. It threats out at 8. So how quickly we are building a case against me. So Berserk Mutate schemes for 0. Now we draw our encounter card, and our encounter card is Test Subjects. When defeated, the first player discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until they discard a minion. Reveal that minion. And it comes into play with 2 threat on it. 1, 2. All right, let's see what we got here. Remove 3 threat from a scheme, 4 threat if you paid using mental resource. That's one thing we could do on our turn. We also could play Maria Hill, and that would allow us to draw an extra card. This Zola's Mutate's looking pretty nasty over here. Sitting there at 7 hit points, right? I think we need to get rid of that guy. He's a little too much. Too much. For justice. Well, let's take a look at the top card of our encounter deck first. And it is a Concussive Blast. Concussive Blast. Now we'll flip. So if I were to do some attacking, reason why Berserk Mutate didn't quick stride is because it has an alter ego form. Maria Hill. It's a lot of minions building up on me here. Contaminant immunity is also good. Let's get rid of Zola's Mutate, though. I just really don't like him out here. So we'll attack with Mockingbird for 1 on the Zola's Mutate. Spider-Man's going to attack for 2 on the Zola's Mutate. So now he's up to 3. Power of Justice. Maria Hill. Let's do this. Let's play Maria Hill onto the table. And we'll spend... Oh, I like that finesse card too. Let's count our resources here. So pheromones. Probably won't use that. Contaminant immunity wouldn't be bad. So if I spend both of those cards to put finesse onto the table, then I can exhaust finesse, and I can exhaust or discard for justice to play Maria Hill, and she allows me to draw a card. So we draw contaminant immunity, which I cannot play with power of justice. So we'll set our hand aside for now. We did play a leadership card, so we add 1 cube over here to Spider-Woman. And I still won't be able to clear, won't be able to remove Zola's mutate from the table. I could remove the Berserk mutate though. So why don't we do that? We'll go ahead and attack with Spider-Woman. She has 2 attack onto the Berserk mutate, and we'll attack with Maria Hill. And that will knock out the Berserk mutate. My hand is utter garbage right now, so I'm going to just discard both of these cards. And we will flip up Maria Hill, Mockingbird, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, and Finesse. And I'll draw my 5 cards. So we draw Energy, Inconspicuous, and now we have a Venom Blast, Make the Call, and Clear the Area. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. One thing about it, this test subjects has that hazard icon on there, so I'll have to draw an additional encounter card this round. So here we go. We're going to place 1 threat on the Mad Doctor. 1 counter on the Mad Doctor. Zola is not going to attack because he's stunned. And his mutate is going to attack, and we'll block that with Mockingbird. So she is knocked out. Then we draw our 2 encounter cards. I'll put them right here, 1 and 2. Our first one is a Concussive Blast. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each friendly character. So we knock out Spider-Man, gets knocked out. Forgot about that Concussive Blast. Maria Hill gets knocked out. Oof. And also Spider-Woman's going to take a damage. It's going to knock her down to 6. Our next card is a Defensive Programming. Attached to the minion with the most remaining hit points without another copy of Defensive Programming attached to it. If you cannot, this card gains Surge. Attached minion gets +2 hit points and gains Guard. So now he's a Guard, and he has 2 more hit points. So he went from 5, 6, 7. Now he's up to 9 hit points, and I just lost my posse. Things are looking not great for Spider-Woman. That will end Zola's turn, and now it's my turn, and I am in trouble. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it takes 6 damage to defeat Zola's mutate. Can I do it? Is the question. I could, and I think I will. Maybe. Make the call. If I make the call, I could go grab Mockingbird. That would stun Zola. That would give her 2, 3. And would I have enough to play another card? I don't think I would. It's not looking good. If I play the 5 damage with the Venom Blast, So if I Venom Blast for 5, that would get Zola's Mutate down further. And I still... Well, I could grab Maria Hill with the Make the Call. Or if I play Clear the Area, I could remove Threat from test subjects. Of course, that's going to bring another minion into play. Oh, but I forgot I have Finesse over here. So I could do this. I could use Clear the Area. Let's do that. We're going to do play Clear the Area, use it as a resource, and play Finesse to do the Venom Blast. We'll do the Venom Blast onto Zola's Mutate for 5 damage. That'll bring him up to 8. And that'll be an aggression card that Spider-Woman has played. Now I've got not enough resources. Still, yes I do. I've got enough. So Make the Call, Energy, and Inconspicuous to go grab Mockingbird. That's what we're going to do. We'll go grab Mockingbird from our discard pile, because that's what Make the Call allows us to do. Pay the printed cost of an ally in play. And then it says after Mockingbird enters play, stun an enemy. So we are going to stun Zola. There you go, buddy. You're stunned. Then Mockingbird's going to attack Zola's Mutate. And that gets him out of here. Get lost, pal. Zola's Mutate's gone. As well as all of these. That took a lot of effort to get rid of those minions. But that's what Zola's known for, right? All those minions. So do I want to get rid of test subjects with Spider-Woman? I think I do, because that was awful last turn. Let's give that a try. So we'll exhaust Spider-Woman. We'll get rid of the test subjects. Clear the test subjects. When defeated, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until they discard a minion and reveal that minion. Who do we get? There's a Mind Ray. Zola's Experiments. Pain Inhibitors. Advance. Burning through the deck. Concussion. Blasters. And here's the Ultimate Bioservant. He's the guy. He's the guy. Ultimate Bioservant comes into play with his tough card on him. Okay, so that's going to end this round. Spider-Woman, Mockingbird, Bioservant. And I get to ready my Finesse card. Now I draw 5 cards. So we've got the Venom Blast, the Genius, Nick Fury, Self-Propelled Glide, and Goliath. Goliath. +4 attack until the end of the phase for Goliath. All right. So, Zola's turn. Add 1 threat to the main scheme, the Mad Doctor. Add 1 marker to the Mad Doctor. Zola attacks. He's stunned. Ultimate Bioservant attacks Spider-Woman for 1. And we draw our encounter card, which is Vibranium Armor. Attached to the villain. Force response. After the villain takes damage, give it a tough status card. Exhaust your hero and spend 2 physical resources to discard this card. So every time we attack him, we give him a tough card. I hate it. That's crazy. The truck driver outside didn't like it either. That's what he thought about it. You probably heard that. So that's the end of Zola's turn. Mockingbird. Mockingbird. Self-Propelled Glide. Genius. And I do have Nick Fury. Likes me some Nick Fury. how many? I don't have any physical resources at all in my hand, so I can't do anything about that vibranium armor right now. So this says after the villain takes damage even. So even if that's damage that's not directed at him, if it's just like overkill damage or whatever, it's not going to do. So that's not good. So Nick Fury enters play. I could do 4 damage to an enemy when he does enter play. Venom Blast does 5 damage. What shall I do? Ultimate Bioservant. We have our extra resource that we can spend over here. We could spend that on the Venom Blast. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna play Nick Fury on the table. Play Nick Fury. We're gonna spend these 4 resources right here: Goliath, Genius, and Self-Propelled Glide. Put Nick Fury on the table. He allows me to remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. Let's draw the 3 cards and see what we get. We got the Power of Justice, and we've got Jessica Drew's Apartment, and we got the Power of Leadership. I just don't feel like I did a very good job building this deck this time, folks. May have to go back to the drawing board, but I'm not giving up yet. So we can play Jessica Drew, and we can do the Venom Blast. Nick Fury can do some damage. Mockingbird can do some damage. Spider-Woman. Let's see. We played this last round, right? That needed to clear. Yeah, we haven't done anything worthwhile yet. So let's do this. Let's with Mockingbird attack to knock the tough off. We'll do the Venom Blast, spinning Finesse, and the Power of Leadership to do the Venom Blast onto the Ultimate Bioservant. That takes care of his mess. He's out of here. We'll put Jessica Drew's Apartment on the table. Why not, right? We'll use the Power of Leadership. We'll overpay it for it. And so Spider-Woman played a Venom Blast. So that did add an aggression. So let's do this. So we're going to exhaust Spider-Woman. She's +1 thwart to remove all the threat off of the Mad Doctor. Yeah. And then we'll exhaust Nick Fury to do 2 damage to Zola, which puts him only at 8. He's a slow burn for sure. And then 1 consequential damage onto Nick Fury. Shall I stay in hero form? Let's see how many cards I have left in my deck. That might determine what we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to deck myself regardless. So if we're going to deck ourselves, we'll just flip over to our Jessica Drew side. Let's look at the top card of our encounter deck. It is Test Subjects. That's what he'll use to scheme with. And we're going to ready everything. Oh, Jessica Drew's Apartment. Before we ready, let's take a look and see what the top 5 cards of my deck are. See kind of what we're going to get. And I can draw one of these into my hand. So what would I want to toss, maybe? I think I'll draw Hawkeye into my hand, only to toss her at the end of my round here. So now we'll ready Jessica Drew. Now we'll ready Nick Fury, Mockingbird, everything. We'll draw the 6 cards, and I'm going to go ahead and deal myself the 1 encounter card right here. And so I draw those 4 cards that I just looked at, shuffle my play deck, I'm like 40 minutes in, and I've only done 6 damage to Zola. I'm sorry, folks. This one's going to be long in the tooth. This guy's always a challenge. He's always got my number for some reason, Dr. Zola. Artem Zola. Why you hate me? And make the call, and oh, it's a terrible hand, actually. Well, maybe not. I'll have to lose Nick Fury, so I could make the call to get Nick Fury back onto the table. So not all is not lost. Okay. Yet. And so we ready, Jessica? I'll tell you what, let's do a little housekeeping here. Let's move our location down here. We'll put Nick right here and Mockingbird right here. We'll place one threat onto our main scheme. We'll place one more counter here, which means that we do the thing. You know what the thing is. Cycle through my deck looking for nasty boys. And there's one of the nastier ones. When revealed. Now, we are revealing these, right? Did I play that right earlier? Am I revealing these? Discard cards on the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engage with the first player, and remove 3 test counters. He's not revealed. He's put into play. Oh, I think I may have hurt myself earlier. Is that what I did? Did I put Zola's Mutate into play earlier? And then go find... Oh, I think I might have rightly lost this game for that reason. So he's put into play until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engage with the first player. Ooh. So at least I don't have to do the when revealed ability if he's just simply put into play, discard cards on the top of the encounter deck. So we're going to leave it at that. So we placed our one threat. Dr. Zola is going to scheme for 2 plus 1 is 3, and another 1 is 4. You know, it always helps when you read the cards, and I don't care how many times you play the game. There's so many cards in the game now that by the time it comes back around, it's like it's a new game again, which I'm just going to stop and maybe monologue for a little bit. That's the reason why I didn't get into the game initially, was because I thought it wasn't going to be... I thought it would get boring, that there wouldn't be enough content, and so I kind of held out until there was enough content out there that I actually overwhelmed myself going out and buying everything. So good for you, Fantasy Flight, for keeping a pretty good release schedule and getting us lots of content that we can play with that keeps the game fresh. Mistakes like these are proof that you got to continuously stay up on the cards. Now, some of you out there I know are experts at it. I get to play very rarely, not as much as I would like. So I make mistakes like that all the time. And that's okay. Sometimes it's in my favor. Sometimes it's against me. So after placing the threat, we will draw one of 2 encounter cards. The first one is Test Subjects. Love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love the Test Subjects. Zola's tough. And then Gang Up, Alter Ego. This card gains Surge. I am an Alter Ego. Next, the Mind Ray. Alter Ego. Zola schemes and you are confused. I don't think there's anything I can do about this Treachery card. There is absolutely nothing I can do about this Treachery card. So, the Mind Ray, Alter Ego, Zola schemes. I'm confused. I remain confused all the time, apparently. Zola schemes, you are confused. So, let's see what his scheming gets him. This could be it. Ooh, it is a special boost icon which says place 1 test counter on the main scheme. For each test counter on the main scheme, Zola gets +1 scheme and +1 attack for this activation. There we go. +1 scheme. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Zola. Whoop my rear end. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I misplayed a card earlier. I may have. When I watch it back, I maybe didn't. But I love it anyway. So, good for you, game. You beat me this time. So, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and post this video, even though I lost and I won't be able to progress to the next game, because I'm going to take on Dr. Zola again. And we'll see what happens next time. So thanks for watching my playthrough video today. Hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next time to see if I can beat Dr. Zola on a future game. And if you want to like and subscribe my videos, that's great. And if you want to see them when they pop, you can just ring the bell. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can shoot me an email. I am theboardgamelawyer@gmail.com. I want to thank you all for watching today. I hope you have a great weekend. This is the weekend that Sinister Motives hits the stores and is sent out to everybody. So I hope if you're playing that you're having a great time. And I hope to see you and bring you another video again very soon. Take care, folks.